Hey guys, welcome back to Flat Creek Outdoors. I'm Phil, and what is that right there? That is a Wolfe Ridge splitter. We'll get into the details of that splitter here in a second, but let me answer your first question. No, that is not mine. This splitter belongs to Aaron. Here, Aaron is a fellow Virginian who reached out to me and said, hey, I'm picking up this splitter and I'd like to bring it by and give you a chance to check it out, and I did not turn that down. So here we are today. Say, hey Aaron.
Hi guys.
And Aaron's got a brand new YouTube channel as well, so you can check out his channel, which is called
Grizzly Wood Services.
Grizzly Wood Services, and you will see a lot more videos of this splitter on his channel. So if you're interested in seeing that, check out his new channel, Grizzly Wood Services, and I'll leave a link to that channel in this video's description. We are going to today go over all the features of this splitter. Like I said, this is the Wolfe Ridge 35 HO. Did I mess that up?
HO.
35 HO. This is actually a pretty high-end splitter. I have a Wolfe Ridge splitter, spoiler alert, coming. It is not this model. It is a lower model than this one. So I'm really interested to see how this thing runs. And then of course I will be comparing how this runs to how my splitter runs whenever it gets here. Let's go first for a little walk around of the 35 HO. And Aaron, if you know any of the things that are different from this splitter versus maybe the next step down, which is their compact commercial, go ahead and point out maybe some of those differences, because I know you shopped and you compared and you probably know some of these features right off the top of your head.
I did. When I was looking at the Wolfe Ridge splitters, I looked at every model there was. For me, one of the more important features at the time was towability. The HO series, the high output series, is the lowest level of splitter that actually comes with a suspension. This has a leaf spring suspension under it, whereas the next lowest level, the commercial, it's a straight axle. These are rated, Chris from Wolfe Ridge tells us we can pull them up to about 80 miles an hour, and it tows about like a heavy trailer with a four-wheeler on it. I went ahead and got the optional hydraulic cooler. They add a steel plate here. If you get it from the factory ahead of time, it's actually welded on. In doing my research, I actually talked to Chris, and he said that they actually have a retrofit kit where you can drill it out, mount the same plate, and it's all bolt on if you choose to get one at a later date. The 35 HO or the Super HO comes with a foldable tongue so that you don't beat up your shins while you're walking around it. This one has electric start, so you got your battery compartment here. So this one's got your auto cycle. It's actually two levers. You bump them both forward, it'll cycle forward, stop, and go all the way back all on its own with just that single bump. It's got your wedge adjustment right here for lifting your wedge up and down hydraulically, and then your log lift is the little bent handle right there. Now, one of the nice things about the HO and the SHO is because it's a little bit wider on that suspension, you actually get a little bit more capacity on your log lift. I believe it's about 700 pounds versus 550-ish. The only other real thing of note, aside from the trailering lights, which is one of the options, is that on the HO and the SHO, you're not towable from either end. It's all towable from the front, but you do have an extra stand to help keep it stable.
So you guys, I'm sure, are ready to see this thing run. Aaron's going to warm this thing up. I'm going to get the tractor. I'm going to get some logs, and we'll see how it works. A couple things that I am really interested in. The splitter I've ordered has this as well. I want to see how easy it is to use the adjustable height on the wedge, because obviously if you've seen my channel, I'm just using a single wedge splitter now with no adjustments on it, and it is a pain to split up really large pieces of wood in particular. I also really like how large this work table is. I think that's going to be nice to use. And then you've got a 4-way wedge as well, is that right? Or no, that is the 4.
4-way is on here right now. I've got the 6-way sitting on the tailgate along with one other feature feature that we didn't mention yet.
Oh, right, yeah. So the other feature, and I told Aaron, it's obviously bright enough out here, we don't need work lights, but he has the optional work lights that are available directly from Wolfe Ridge, and he's going to feature those on his channel because he has a regular job and he's going to be doing some work after hours. So he will show you how that all hooks up and how that works and how it looks on his channel. You have to go check that out. This worked out pretty well. This was our first time, obviously, using the splitter. It was Aaron's first time using any splitter, if you can believe that or not.
Short of the manual ones.
Yeah, just mauls and axes for him in the past. So we cleared through this, and we didn't have a timer running, but I think it was less than 20 minutes. That would have easily taken me 30, 35 minutes with my other splitter, just a single wedge. And even then, maybe it probably would have taken longer because some of those rounds were quite large, and it's difficult to manipulate those large rounds on my little consumer grade splitter. So made quick work of it. We have some bigger rounds over here on the ground that we're going to try. We're going to continue to use the 6-way wedge, and I just wanted to show you real quick what we've done so far, because if you followed my channel, you know that I do a lot of I do bundles, and I sell to people who burn in their backyard fire pits, and a lot of what came off of here is just perfect size for that. And just a little bit of a learning curve for us figuring out where to position the wedge and how to best position it and how to best put the logs on there and all of that kind of stuff. I think anyone that gets a new piece of equipment has that similar kind of learning curve. But that was kind of the only thing that we kind of fumbled with and tinkered around with a little bit. And the other thing that we noticed is that if the logs aren't cut perfectly square, if they're angled on one side, that push plate, if that angled cut is against the push plate, it will kick the log sideways, and then it goes into the wedge sideways. So you saw a few of those happen on the last couple splits that we did with this knotty maple as well. So that's really all we've learned. It's done everything that we wanted so far. So we're going to try it out now on a couple bigger ones. Some of these have some rot in it, some of them have some knots, and I think these are oak instead of maple. We'll see when we crack them open, and we'll see how it does. Well, I can say I am thrilled with how this thing is working. We did learn on that last round. It's funny because I had turned the camera off. I thought we were done. There's one more round over here on the ground, and on that last round the splitter got stuck on the 6-way wedge. It wouldn't push that round with the big knot in it through the 6-way, which Aaron was telling me after the fact that he was told, or he's heard elsewhere, that about a 14 to 16 inch round is about the right size for a 6-way wedge, and I guess, you know, adding knots to that complicates it. So breaking those bigger rounds down with the single wedge first is probably the smarter way to go long term when you know you got big rounds lined up. But some of that maple was rotten, and we did have a find in the middle of that. We don't know if it's a bone or an antler, but I know squirrels will collect that kind of stuff and gnaw on it as a calcium source. So that's pretty cool. I think it's an antler. So I know this video is getting long. I have some really big oak rounds, 30 inches or so oak rounds. And if you saw my video a couple weeks ago, I unloaded the trailer with the tractor. These just massive oak rounds that I got from another property nearby. So anyway, we're gonna try to put some of that through the splitter, but I'm gonna save that for another video. You guys are gonna have to tune in a couple days from now and check that out. So for now, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. We'll see you on the next video.
See you later.